This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, people? You are now tuned into another exciting episode of the Still a Man podcast. Tonight, we are going to be discussing the topic, Mama's baby, Papa's maybe. Let's go on and jump right into it. And ladies and gentlemen, let's get your point of view. Let's get your perspective. We're going to start with a lady right off the bat. Tanya, you want to give us your perspective, what that term means to you?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Go to somebody else. I got to think about that.
Okay. All right, let's go to Robert. Robert, you want to give us your perspective? What does that term mean to you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, sorry, I had to take my phone off of mute. For me, the term means, in my opinion, the mother is always for certain that that's their child or their baby or babies that they're carrying, and when they have them, they know for sure that's theirs. What the father's problem is, why it's a maybe, because it's kind of wishy-washy. It can be another man's child. He's not for certain if she didn't go out the back door on him and mess around, maybe had an affair, or just pretend that she knows whose child it is, or she really knows it's not his, but he's not in the clear. So I consider that a maybe. He's really not sure. He has to get a DNA to really be 100% sure.
Okay. Let's go to another woman. Shanara, are you still with us? Guys, you have to turn on your mic.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here.
Yep.
I'm here. Excuse me. I agree with Robert.
Okay.
I believe that
was
Robert.
short and brief.
Yeah, because with us, we know, but Papa's maybe, like he said, it could be some doubts for a couple of reasons, but at least as a mom, you know for a fact that that child is yours.
Okay. All right. Right to the point. All right, let's get a male's perspective. Gregory, you want to share?
Yeah. The woman is always gonna be the one that carries the seed, but does anybody trust anybody in the situation? That's how I feel when I hear mama's babies, papa's maybes, because maybe he didn't understand or have the trust in that he was supposed to have in his other half.
Okay. Patsy, you want to jump in on this? Tonight's topic is mama's baby, papa's maybe.
Yeah, I think like everybody's saying, it's like, okay, the mama's always there. Like, she carried that baby for 9 months. But if you lay down as a man with a woman, and she's being honest about like who she is and not with, then, yeah. But that's where DNA testing come in with, if you question it, even though you lay down with that woman, then make sure that baby's yours,
Okay. So I know we got Robert in the house as male representative. We got Gregory. We got Fleming. Fleming, would you like to share? Oh,
I was just listening right now, David.
okay.
I'll come back. I'll
T,
come back when I have something to say. Yeah, I didn't think of something nice to say yet.
all right. Well, you guys, this is an open forum. Be candid. Speak your mind. What it means to you is what it means to you. I'm gonna go to another lady, and then I'm gonna come right back to Sean because I just heard he came in. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to Kiana, and then I'm gonna go to Sean. So again, ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us tonight, we are discussing the topic, Mama's baby, Papa's maybe. Kiana, let's get your point of view.
I just came in, so y'all continue to talk. I don't.
All right, give you a moment. All right,
I'll go
so let's
next.
go.
I'll go
Let's
next.
go to. All right, you go next. That's Elizabeth.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So, of course, everybody knows, the mother knows because she carries it. She sees it come out. She knows it's hers.
Mhm.
Guys, they have, when they have questions, especially if somebody's in the air, like, you know, she was here, she was there, it's not yours. Yeah, the baby's too light, the baby's too dark, the eyes are different, the ears are too pointy. It's always like somebody usually in their ear. So they're like, that might not be mine. His ears are too big, or he's too light, he's too dark, his eyes are different. So they'll have questions.
Okay. All right, let's go to Sean. Let's get another meals point of view. Let's go, Sean.
All right. What you said. I'm sorry, because I had just walked in. What was it again? So
Okay,
Mama's baby, Papa's maybe.
What do I think about that?
Yeah, what do you think about the term mama's baby, papa's maybe? What does that mean to you?
Oh, that means exactly what it says, that mommy knows what she did. Daddy might have a clue that he could be the father. If not, I mean, especially if he's hearing stuff on the streets, or if he just knows who that young lady is. Like where, if he tries to do the math on the matter, saying, okay, well, we wasn't really cool around this time. How am I the one? To me, it's pretty much exactly what it is. Exactly what it says.
Okay. We're gonna go to Josie next, and then we're gonna come back to you, Timmy. Josie, you want to give us your point of view?
Well, plain and simple. You a hoe if you don't know.
Oh,
other than that,
I like that one.
Can't get no clearer than that.
That's new to me. I like that.
Unless there's some misunderstanding circumstances where, you know, there was a rape or something to that nature, I'm gonna stick to my guns with you a hoe if you don't know.
All right, and we're gonna go back to Timmy. Timmy, let's get your perspective.
Yes, I agree with Josie says, because you know, you have tit for tat nonsense going on. You know, the dude might be out cheating, and the chick says, "Oh, he's cheating. I'm going out to cheat too," and then she gets knocked up, and then next thing you know, she's saying that the dude is the baby, but he's like, "Nah, we wasn't out together," or she'll say, "Oh, I really loved you and I didn't do nothing with that dude," and then they go have makeup sex, and then she got him then because now she gonna say that probably already pregnant by the dude that she messed around with, and then she gonna come and tell the dude that she's so called in love with that he's the daddy. And oh, you're definitely the daddy. I'm 100% sure because I wasn't messing with nobody.
Strong, strong. Let's go to Maria. Maria, you ready to share?
Well, I pretty much agree with what everybody else said, that if you don't know, you will hoe. And if you the mother, of course you know it's your baby. The father don't know until maybe get a blood test, or if the kid come out looking exactly like him. Other than that, it's mama's baby.
Strong, strong, strong views. Okay, Duchess, you ready? You want to share?
Yeah, I'll come out. I'll come out. I agree with everyone. Yes, a woman should know who she's messing with. I just don't appreciate the guys who know that they messed with someone, know that they were unprotected, and lie down to their socks that that baby's not theirs, it can't be theirs. The whole
Those are
10,000
cowards.
excuses of
Those are cowards, and those are
we've been
not
next
men,
to all
really.
this time. There's no way she could get pregnant. The stupidity of people who don't know basic biology trying to go against biology really annoys me.
And especially when they say I only slept with her one time.
Right.
The dreaded one.
Only once.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me
She's all put. I slept with her one time.
Definitely takes one time.
I always call them except for one time. Well, dummy, that's all it takes.
Hello.
Tanya?
Yeah, what about the mama's baby daddies, maybe the maybe daddies that know they the daddy and don't come around and spend no time, don't do what they supposed to do to take care of the baby. That's the daddy maybe.
Okay,
maybe
so
you
let's
a daddy.
do this. Let's do this, people. So do you guys know that there are songs, poems made just for this topic and stuff like this? Tech person, you want to hit them with that song? They wrote a song about it. Here it goes.
Maya Angelou. She got a poem on that.
Oh, mama, I've got a situation driving me out of my mind. Can somebody tell me what should I do about my situation? Let me explain it to you. I tell you, she's mama's baby, a papa's maybe. That's the way that it is. I got a little girl with pretty brown eyes. I'm glad to say she's mine, all mine. I know she loves me and I love her back. But there's one thing that's an actual fact. I tell you, mama's baby, a papa's maybe. That's the way that it is. Listen, me and my lady had a fight one night. She told me she was walking right out of my life. Said she had someone who loved her more. And then my baby walked right out the door. I tell you, mama's baby, a papa's maybe. That's the way that it is. Somebody tell me, what should I do about my situation? Oh, can you explain it? Oh, explain it to me. Oh, mama. Oh, I tell you, mama's baby, a papa's maybe. That's the way that it is. Listen, my lady was gone such a long, long time. I began to think she wasn't even mine. But then one day, he done her wrong. And then my baby came right on back home. I tell you, it's mama's baby and papa's maybe. That's the way that it is.
You could tell he's writing from the heart, so he experienced that.
And I think I heard him say he found out the kid wasn't his, but he still took care of the child.
Yeah, it was sound like a couple of different scenarios. Sound like
Yes,
stuff
it did.
that a lot of you guys covered. Also, just so you guys know, if you wanna listen to that song further, just go on YouTube and type in, I believe it's Robert Tillman.
That's who it is.
Pop is Baby. Excuse me, Mom is Baby, Pop is Maybe. 1977 is when it was released. Yeah, that is the soundtrack to some people's lives. So let's keep it going. So how you guys feel about that song? Do you think it tells the story? Can it get any clearer?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of different scenarios there. If you really deep dive into the lyrics, I know he was singing about the baby, you know, Papa maybe, but he has to be wondering if the mama was even his. Because she told him that she had somebody to love her more than him.
You're right.
So she had probably had that man for a while.
That's why I say. Go ahead, Robert.
Go on. No, I was about to say that's why he said anyone can make a baby, but it takes a real man to raise one.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
And I think the most respectful thing for another man to acknowledge, that another man's taking care of somebody else's kids. That is respectful. That's the most respectful thing that a human being can do is take care of another person.
Yeah.
So let me just go ahead and tell you guys, there is such a thing called paternity fraud, where a lot of times there's women that do not share the paternity or the truth about paternity with the father because she has told one or more men that this is their child as well. So there are people, I believe it's the president or something of Fathers First, where he is trying to get a law passed where there is mandatory DNA paternity testing at birth. But, in light of the fact that Mr. Maury Povich is about to retire and call it an end, I don't know what everybody's going to do regarding paternity tests, but let's keep it going. Tech person, you want to show us a video by Maury?
When I was 19 years old, I was permanently scarred. I found out the man who I thought was my father wasn't my real dad. So yeah, I got trust issues. And I'm not just gonna claim Romeo as my son till Jaleesa proves it to me. First off, another man told me he was talking to Jaleesa right around the time she got pregnant. I didn't want to believe it. But when Jaleesa had Romeo 4 days early, I knew I couldn't be the dad. Now my sister Rachel telling me to step up, she the one told me to get a DNA test in the first place. I feel bad Romeo gotta go through all this. But at the end of the day, this is all Jaleesa's fault.
Everybody here stand. Why isn't that your baby?
Look at that baby, Moore. Look at that baby. That baby look like
baby. Look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. Look at those
look like a Raven or A-Rail.
The same mole that you have on your nose right here in the exact same spot.
That baby look like an A-Rail or a Raven. Look at that. Look at that house. That is not my house.
Look at that mole. Look
Sit
at
down.
mouth.
Did you hear what her ultimatum was? If this is your child, she wants a ring.
I'm a man, I run things. It don't matter about none of that. It don't matter about...
In the case of 6-week-old Romeo, Stan, you are the father.
Okay, but wait, guys, there's more. Tech person, I said there's more. Check person.
Take care of a child he has with another woman. Carlia deserves for her daddy to love her too. Once I prove that Carlia does belong to James, he needs to start helping me take care of his daughter. My ex-boyfriend James has betrayed me in the worst possible way. He's denying that he's the father of our 2-year-old daughter Carlia. Around the time I got pregnant, James and I were having unprotected sex all the time. What does he have, amnesia or something? James' punk-ass cousin Cornelius has done nothing but spread lies about me. I can't stand him. He's one of the main reasons why James does nothing for our daughter. I'm so sick of watching James take care of a child he has with another woman. Carlia deserves for her daddy to love her too. Once I prove that Carlia does belong to James, he needs to start helping me take care of his daughter, and Cornelius can go straight to hell.
You feel betrayed.
Yes, because he around here listening to this bitch talking about that's not his baby and stuff, and he doing all this
You
to me
think he's
like.
doing all because of his cousin?
Yes, because he in his ear telling him that I'm a hoe and I'm sleeping around and stuff. Well, he was texting me too if you want to get technical.
Maury.
Yes, you was. Boy, tell him to sit down. Boy, you ain't nothing. Sit down.
You ain't told you him about it.
Maury.
Club rat.
I'm a club rat. I'm a club rat. Okay, but you was in my inbox too, right? You was in my inbox too, right? But I'm a club rat.
Here's James. James, come on out. Here he is.
You tell me you had another dude? Like, how you gonna tell me you
No,
had sex
I
with
never
another
told you
dude?
I had no other dude. I never told you I had no other
Come on, bro.
dude. You listening to this bitch talking about something I'm sleeping with everybody when you know what he was.
You think that little girl looks like
Man,
you?
look at the baby, bro. Look at my nose. That's not my nose. Look. My eyebrows, they don't look nothing like me. Look at the nose. I have strong features, bro. I have strong features, bro.
Are you serious?
Look at that baby.
You don't see this?
I have strong features. I have strong features, bro. Look. That's not my nose. Look at my nose, bro. Look at my nose, bro. That's not my nose, bro. That's not my nose.
Close your legs. Close your legs. Close your legs.
In the case of 2-year-old Carlia, James, you are not.
Okay.
I just want to say this real quick. Elizabeth was addressing all of what they're saying right now earlier.
Yeah.
And we done seen both cases.
Yeah.
Ooh. So if you're just tuning in, don't attempt to adjust your set. You are tuned into the right place, right time. This is indeed the Still a Man podcast. Tonight we are discussing the topic of Mama's baby, Papa's maybe. And Bird, since you just joined us, if your mic is ready, you want to give us your point of view?
I don't know about that mama's baby, papa's maybe. I don't condone it. I ain't with it. It's a malice. It's a phallus. It's whatever kind of it is for someone to lie and say it's a baby that's not yours. It's the worst thing you can do. I hope bad comes to you for treating the kid that way and the man that way, lying, knowing that it's not your kid and making you believe it. It's the worst thing you can do to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm totally at end and against it all.
All right. And before we go any further, get anybody else's point of view, guess what? There's more video proof. Tech person, you want to share some more?
Out of Pappy.
Tech person.
Friends out there, for all my family and friends out there, I just got some bad news. There's too many of y'all. I can't call everybody, so I decided to make.
Well, moving on. We don't want no dead space.
I'm finna get this girl a call. What's up? I got some bad news. So I decided to get a DNA test on Mika. And the DNA test came back, and I just found out I'm not Mika's dad.
Come on, I know you lying.
I'm so serious. The papers is right in front of me.
Well, them can't be no right papers.
How could you do something like this to me?
Do what?
You know what? I've been in this baby life since she was born. I signed her birth certificate. How could you do this to me? I went to her K-5 graduation. I was there. And you laughing and you think it's funny? No, I'm not playing. This is so serious. Why would you do something like this to me? So you've been sleeping behind my back? You had me thinking that she was my baby for 7 years?
Yeah.
And I feel like you're making jokes about this whole situation when this is serious. I'm so hurt right now. I can't believe you would do this to me. I was there when she lost her first tooth. I helped her with her homework. We spent so much time together. And you still lying on this phone when a DNA test came back and said I am not the father? I can't believe you would do something like this to me. Alright. Alright. You know something? You know something? You wrong. You so wrong for misleading me like that for all these years. I'm so hurt right now. But it's cool. You want to take everything as a joke? Karma is going to come back to you.
All right. Guys, let's, while the tech person goes ahead and gets the next video queued up, let's go ahead and talk about that video. Elizabeth, how you feel about that?
For me, I couldn't even do that. Like, my husband raised my kids. He always knew the ones that were his and the ones that weren't. But he raised them all as his own. So,
okay. Timmy, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think she just play with his emotions. And she knew, you hear her laughing, joking about it. And it's just guilt written all over her face by her laughing and steady trying to play the role. Like, what are you talking about? Stop lying. You're playing. You're just playing. That's our game.
Well, that was a serious situation, but I seen a man falsify documents on live TV and tell the girl, "Did you know this ain't my baby?" Bull crap. And then it turns out he had a fake DNA test. It's crazy. You gotta watch it.
Tanya, you want to give us your opinion about the videos?
The videos was all real. That's a different situation in a lot of people's lives. Some people, two of the situations is for them. So it's a lot to unpack.
Okay.
That's why it's good that these podcasts are going on to have these discussions. So that people can deal with this and see the error of their ways, or probably just get some help to see that they need to get some help.
Okay.
It's very good. I mean, each brand is hitting on a area that people need help in. They need support. And that's why I tune in week after week for these podcasts.
And we appreciate you coming, and we welcome you back every week. Sean, you want to go ahead and give us your point of view on the videos?
Yeah, to piggyback off of what Tanya said, like, there's deeper issues if you find yourself in a situation like that, to where you're with someone and you think that you know them, and for them to even portray you, like portray you and mislead, and then to not even think about what the outcome would be for that child as time goes on, as they become older, to know that this cloud is hanging over the family's head when something like that comes out, because I mean, we've seen things where people grow up thinking that one person is their parent, and then sometimes it'd be unfortunate by the time that they find out who their real parent is, that parent is gone. So there's like an identity of them that's missing from their life. Like, there's deeper issues that goes on than other than just the situation between the male and the female.
Right, I agree. I think that situation affects everyone. It affects the kid. It affects the father who thought he was the father. It also affects the offspring family, the grandmothers, the cousins. You know,
it's a whole tribe.
Is Tanasia with us? Okay, I don't. All right, let's get Patsy back. Patsy, how you feel?
I feel like, in perspective, the woman is wrong. If they're sleeping with multiple women, and it's like, multiple men, and she gets pregnant by one of them, you just wrong. You, like Josie said, you a hoe if you don't know. So like, you got to be careful with what you do, because that's something like someone that's like 20 something in their early 20s, and I call that being young and dumb, and you playing games. You don't even know that you affected not just a man emotions, but you affecting your child's emotion. And like everybody else said, like the family circle, cousins, aunts, grandparents, whoever's involved with them as a family, they're hurting. The woman is hurting them as well as that child and the father.
Okay, Robbie, you want to give us your point of view?
Could you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. My point of view, speaking, from my point, would be, it's a hurting situation. I open up my heart and I gave you my body nakedly, meaning no protection, nothing. For one, you tore my heart by lying to me, telling me that this child or children are mine or was mine. And then on the other hand, I got to think about what sexual transmitted disease you probably have gave me at the same time. So you're not only beating me in my heart, you're messing with my mental, my emotions, my health. And to even explain this to the child that I thought I was fathering for 7 years, or to have the child ripped out my arms or my life, I got to come back to this kid and still try to find a way to love this child. The same way I was loving the child before I found out it wasn't really mine. That is a serious situation. I think that the lady, her mental state is not healthy. She might need to go sit down with some type of counseling for her to get help, because who in their right mind play like that with someone's heart and their own child's heart? You're just messing up big time. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Sonara, you want to jump back in there?
I pretty much agree with what everyone was saying, and I felt bad for the last guy. It's very sad and just terrible for any woman to do that to a guy, or or in a situation where a guy may just not be claiming a kid for whatever reason. Too, it's just a sad situation. I think everybody should just be honest, and even if that is the case, you just gotta come clean with whatever's going on and let people know. I think it's worse to just drag it out and let someone be hurt, knowing that, they are not the father.
Okay.
There's usually a connection somehow with, with the kids and family and everything too. So it hurts a long list of people.
Bird, you want to jump in there?
Yeah. Well, I think some women, like to slide out and they're really not sure. So some women are not sure that who the father is, but I think the honest component would be to say something, but not all men tell a woman they cheat and expose them to all kinds of things. So it's just a shitty cycle, excuse my language, of, deception. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You deceived me and I don't know because I haven't been in that position, but if I had to give an answer, I could no longer be with the girl or the child anymore, knowing it's not mine, because it was all a lie. And
Right.
It would be something I would have to figure out within myself to get over. But unfortunately, I don't want to live a lie with somebody. You lied to me about being faithful. You lied to me, even worse, about a child not being mine. So I don't know if I could stomach that or swallow that pill. But unfortunately, like everyone has said, the main person that's affected in that deception is the child. And that child has to grow up, A, not knowing who their dad is, or B, losing the only person they thought was their dad. So it's a slippery slope that I choose not to even slide down, and I don't even want to be a part of. I try to keep my life away from deceptive people and deceptive situations. But, if you love somebody, you overlook certain things. I don't know if I can overlook anything like that. It's an unforgivable act.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You won't be able to trust them. You're always going to be thinking and guessing.
Plus the kids' mental state, that really mess the kids up when they get older. They start, not knowing how to deal with people, not knowing how to deal with relationships. That messes with them mentally, and it stays with them because what we learn as kids, it stays with us in our adult years and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Kiana, you want to jump in?
With those videos, the both the Maury videos could I mean, I don't agree with any of that. If you need to lie about who your kid is, you have a lot of issues. You might not even should have children, but that's a different story. The last one, I think the reason why she laughed, first of all, I found a lot of issues with that last one. The fact that he did it over the phone was whack.
Yeah.
If you felt that way, that you should have the face-to-face confrontation. Maybe he did it because he didn't know how you would act, but I still like, if you call me with that crap, I would laugh too, because I would be like, you're crazy. I don't even know why you would be coming to me with that over the phone. Because to me, that's a serious matter that you don't discuss over the phone. So that's my take of the last video. I don't agree with you just lying to somebody their whole life, both your child and you even lying to yourself, even though you're trying to play the role that you agree. It's just sad because there's so many things that could go wrong in that scenario. For the lie, for everything based on a lie. I don't agree with that at all.
All right, so I just want to make sure I get everybody into the conversation. So everybody just in house, just feel free to
wanted
just
to say
jump
something.
in. Go ahead, Josie.
I wanted to say that I know someone in a real life situation where I guess they raised the child until they was 18. And I guess the mother must have felt like she wanted to come out of hiding and tell the child that it wasn't his father. So they went to court, they got the DNA test, and it came back that it really wasn't his child. And it was like really emotional for the father, the child. And I don't know how much emotion it was for the mother seeing that she was all along. So mama's baby, daddy's maybe. That's a real life true story.
18 years. 18 years is on the 18th birthday. You found out it wasn't his. That's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Let me say this to you guys. So we got that person's point of view. He did it over the phone, and Kiana said that she felt like that he should have did a face-to-face encounter. Tech person,
Yes, that's
you want
what
to give us
Chrome
another
do.
video?
Shit, my nigga. I don't blow your phone up to come and get him or none of that shit, dude.
Bruh, he ain't my fucking kid.
None of that shit, bruh.
Bruh, he ain't my kid, bruh. Can you prove that he's my kid?
Go get a DNA test done. When you go get a
Nigga,
DNA test done, then come back and holler
I
at me,
got a
bruh.
whole DNA test right here, nigga. He's not my fucking child. Ain't no probability of the nigga my kid. Look, it's so about nigga, that's the child support office. That's the child support office.
I don't care, Emmanuel.
That's the child support office, nigga. He ain't even my goddamn kid.
Whatever the fuck it is you go to.
He's not my fucking kid. Probability of paternity. He's not even my kid. Look, he's not mine. Look, he's not mine. He's not mine, bro. You can live your life now, bro. He's not mine. What the fuck would you call me a deadbeat for a nigga that's not mine? He's not even mine.
You ready to go back in the house?
Take that shit, man.
You ready to go back in the house? Okay.
Nigga ain't even fucking mine.
So you got a basket on top of
I don't care. It's his shit. Give him his shit. What? Give him his shit. Before I found out the nigga wasn't my son, I bought him all of this little shit. He can have the rest of it too. This is all his shit.
None of that shit.
I bought all of it. I bought all of it except for that little blue pants, them old ass pants you brung, and them right there. Chloe ain't bought me shit. Chloe don't like you or your kid. What the fuck? Go find the message. Chloe ain't bought a nigga shit. Nigga, I done bought everything for this nigga. Chloe ain't even never seen the nigga. She seen the nigga at the park. It wouldn't make no difference. Nigga, he ain't my goddamn kid. The blood test says. Bruh, the blood test says the nigga's not mine. Weak ass bitch. Weak ass bitch. You don't even know who your goddamn baby daddy is. You don't know who your baby daddy is. You don't know who the fuck your baby daddy is, bitch. Bum ass bitch. Don't even know who your baby daddy is.
You know who it is. It just ain't him.
Yeah.
Right.
Say bye. Yeah. Say bye, Kaden. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. You don't even got no daddy, Kaden. Say bye. Right. These motherfuckers people say that the nigga's not mine. It ain't my fucking kid. Bitch, go find your baby daddy, bum ass bitch. Trying to accuse motherfucking niggas of having your kid. You didn't know I snuck down there and got a blood test for him, did you? Bum ass bitch. Yeah, yo mama. You lucky I ain't smack you and spit on you, bitch. Homeless ass bitch. You live in a shelter for the Christian people, bitch. You don't even know who your son's father is. Bum ass bitch. Get you a life, bitch. Go on to Maury and find you a motherfucking daddy, bitch.
Wow.
Yeah.
But
I
she
got.
deserved that. She
You know
deserved
what?
that. She
Wait.
deserved it.
Let's be fair. So again,
No.
let me just say this. That's TMC. Too much conversation because once he divulged the fact that he wasn't the father, he was in his feelings. He started calling her out of her name. I mean, that was real.
One too many
But
bees.
then,
One too many
but the
bees.
And all of
baby,
that should not
And he
have took
did it in
place in
front of
front
the
of that
baby,
child.
though.
Yeah.
yes,
Should have
But
never
I
took place in front of that
agree that
child.
yes,
yeah, that was
yes.
wrong. He could have did that when they were separate. Why
And
would he do that
hurting the
from the kid?
boy,
And
hurt,
especially telling the kid that, oh, now you ain't got
bye.
nobody. Nobody
I
knows
didn't
who your
like that
daddy
part.
is.
I didn't
Yes,
like
That
that
was
bye,
Yeah,
part. That was
Kaden.
extra.
that was messed
That
up.
was way extra.
Right.
Yeah.
Doing too much.
And then
Too much.
telling him you ain't got no daddy.
Yes,
I didn't.
That's his way of hurting her.
because he's hurt.
Hurting the
But
Yeah,
kid.
he
it,
could have
Right.
but
stopped a long time.
But the
I'm
kid
overwhelmed with
hears all of
everybody
this.
talking
The baby is
at one
hearing all
time.
this.
Right.
People be
It's
thinking because
overwhelming.
a child is 2 years old that they don't remember traumatic stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Now we done seen several different scenarios. You done had your face-to-face encounter. You done had your over the phone. You had the individuals that went to the Maury Povich show. One was not the father. One was the father. Shout out to Maury for your 100 years of servitude. I don't know what you're gonna do in your retirement, but you
He's
know,
getting
let's
them
talk.
pregnant now.
Oh well, one
Who?
thing's certain. All those years, wasn't none of those kids here.
Donald Trump
But
can't have no kids.
well, we ain't talking about Trump. We're gonna go on and we're gonna discuss this now. Let's put this on the board. How do you guys feel about mandatory DNA paternity tests at birth? Let's
That's
go.
cool. That's cool too. That break down a whole bunch of that'll curb a lot of that. I'm not the daddy.
Okay.
And to curb a lot of that, I don't know if you're the daddy or not. It'll kill all that nonsense.
Yeah, it'll kill the distrust in a relationship when you're having a baby. You get what I'm saying? You wouldn't want to have a baby with a person lying to him, knowing that this isn't that person's baby, and you know that it's mandatory to get a DNA test.
I mean,
basically
and
because
sometimes people will slide in and have a little one night hippity dippity doo-dah and it happens, you know. But you know, a dishonest person, you got to know they're dishonest at some point. I mean, if you were living in the blind, and yeah, you know, some people make mistakes and they slip out and they have a little one night stand and you get caught up. That can happen, you know. In many cases, that's how a lot of times women are getting impregnated by somebody other than the person they're with.
what
I mean, I get it, but at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't make it an acceptable behavior for that guy to say to the child, "You ain't got no daddy." You know, that's not fair to the kid. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think he
he
should
was
have been
dead
calling her
now.
beats and all of that in front of the kid. But again, he was very hurt. The fact
Right.
that, you know, a man having a child is one of the biggest gifts that I believe is a woman can give to a man. And when it's under, you know, lie as a lie, then you've stripped that man of everything, all that pride he had, all that, you know, oh man, I'm having a
This
kid,
my
telling all
son.
your friends,
I
you know,
felt
this is
his
my
pain
first
at the
kid or this
beginning,
is
but
my
he
first
went a
son.
little too deep at the end.
Yeah, I mean, but he was hurt, and I understand it doesn't make it right. She deserved to be chewed out, but necessarily not in front of the kid, you know. And
Right.
to say those things to the kid is he's no better than her because he's hurting the child just as much as she did.
Mm-hmm.
so maybe I should have hit him with one of my shirts. Hurt people, hurt people.
Absolutely, that's the
And
actual fact
again,
of life.
where can you purchase one of those shirts, Robert?
Well, I strongly recommend you guys to go over to emporiumplus.org, where you can find the latest fashions and adopt a parish, still a man, You, S.A.M, adopt the Paris ladies first, Envy forever, and SOS, support our sisters.
Yes. So again, let's talk about that real quick. Ladies, if this is your first time being a part of the podcast tonight, we are having a Mother's Day lottery. Make sure you get your name in. I think that everybody else was on the show last week except Shanara and Patsy. I think everybody else is.
I put my name in last week.
Yeah, we put your name in last week, Patsy.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. The only other person that wasn't there last week was Shanara, I believe. That's the only other person. Everybody else was there last week. I meant to say Shanara and Fleming were the only two people that wasn't in there. So Fleming's, you can give a lady's name to put in the lottery for her name to be pulled if you choose to. All right. Now let's get back to this. So let's go around the room and let's do this. So first of all, I want to tell y'all what the legal people say. So there is a female lawyer. She does paternity cases and stuff like that. And this is what she suggests to all the men. Ladies, don't take this the wrong way, but your sister-in says that all men should get a paternity test, just so there is a level of certainty that removes all the doubt. She also says,
I'm not mad at her.
She also says that all men should remember, do not allow any woman or man to guilt you into not getting the paternity test. It saves everybody heartache in the long run. He says, get it done as soon as the baby is born, so you don't wait 2 years and find out that the child is not yours. And now the mother decides because the child is not yours, you are no longer going to have any say or any access to the child. So she says, save yourself some heartache. Guys, the paternity test, if you can't afford to get a legal paternity test, she suggested you go to CVS, Walmart, one of the other local stores, and get yourself a $25 test.
That's why they got it. That's why they got it.
It may not be permitted in the court of law, but at least you will know. However, the one that is permitted, the one that is permitted is it costs $300 in the courts, and that depends on where you are. It could be anywhere from $300 to $500. What comes with the legal test is an affidavit that someone saw you, took your ID, said this is you and that's her, and that's what you go into the courts with. Also, there's a court paternity test is given where if you are not the father, you pay nothing. If you are the father, you pay a $90 fee. She also suggested that all men of all ages stop waiving your rights to paternity testing. She says, get it. You need to know. Everybody needs to know. All right, so now let's go around the room. Shanara, are you in favor of mandatory DNA paternity testing at birth?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, and why?
Just to kill all the doubt or anything, I just say they should go ahead, and I think it would just be easier on them, I would say. It may not make the woman feel good, but just to get everything out just from the jump, I would say yes.
Okay, so we have one yes. Tech person or one of Team Emporium or one of the people on the panel, doesn't matter. Just keep track of this. We got one yes. We're going to go to a man now. Bird, are you for mandatory testing at birth, or are you against it?
I'm kind of torn between. I mean, if you have doubt, yes. If you don't have any doubt and you know this person has been unequivocally yours for all the time you've been with her, I don't believe you will want to need to doubt. Mandatory would raise a need to somebody to doubt their relationship, could cause a little more damage. Some women, I guess, will be more offended the fact that you even got to get a DNA test. But again, if there is a doubt in your mind that there was infidelity in your relationship, then absolutely. Should you make people that don't want to have doubt, or some people may know and don't want to know and choose to just raise this child as their own? Big up to them.
Okay.
But I'm kind of torn between. I'm a 50-50, yes and no.
Okay, so one uncertain. Let's go to another lady. Kiana, what's your stance? Yay or nay?
I knew you was coming to me. For me personally, I would be offended, and I'm not for it. I understand it for people who have doubt or feel a certain type of way. But as far as mandatory, I don't know. Again, who's gonna pay that? And if you don't have any doubt, who pays for that? Just because it's mandatory, not like it's not like a regular blood test. So I guess I would have to find out legally the legalities of all that. But I'm not for it.
Okay, so we got one no. Robert?
Well, I'll say this. This would stop all of the trickery. I'm going to say yes, but I'm saying yes strongly if the hospital, if the government's paying for the test, because this would ensure men and women to love and trust and honor and respect each other. You will not go outside your relationship on a late night or early morning and lay down with some other man outside the one that you love and live with. And the man wouldn't have to worry about that anymore, because when the lady steps up in the hospital to have the baby, she already knew from everyone else's experience that there is a DNA test that will be taken in the hospital. So a lot of the stepping out will become minimum. You won't have a lot of that, I don't know, maybe Papa's maybe anymore. It'll just be, I know that's my child, because she's not going to do nothing really to make herself look like a inside the hospital. So it's a yes for me.
Okay, we got two yes, we got one no, and we got one neutral, basically. Uncertain, on the fence. Okay, we got let's go to Elizabeth.
Me, I don't see nothing wrong with it. It just clears everything up from the very beginning.
Yes.
Like if it's me, I have no doubts, I have no worries, so whatever. If this is what you need, take it.
All right, so that's another yes. We got three yes. We got three yeses and one no and one on the fence. We're gonna go to Timmy next. Timmy, what's your stance?
Yes. Yes for clarity and for doubt. You have to have for clarity and for doubt. That's what you have to have it for. So I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, clear to the point. You want clarity, you want certainty. We're gonna go to Patsy next.
I want to say, yeah, even if you're legally married to someone, because even if you're legally married, you could still be stepping out on someone, and end up getting pregnant by the other man you've been stepping out on. So yeah, I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, yeah, so technically, yeah, I think, and no matter what situation, you need to test that baby to see who the father is.
Okay. All right, that's another yes. We're going to go to Gregory. Gregory, what's your stance?
Yes, change the world. Change the world. As soon as the baby comes out, swab them. Swab the daddy. Make sure, because it's going to change a lot of promiscuous behavior. Think about it.
Okay, that's straight to the point. Let's get Josie. What do you feel about this?
I think that, I think that, I think yes, because I have nothing to hide, and it's no disrespect to, you know, what anyone's questions are. It's just what I believe, and I believe that if someone wants to test me to see if this is their child, I think that it's something sacred. Like you're supposed to be like pure, you're supposed to be honest. This is a joyful moment. So I don't want any doubt in my mind or in their mind. Knowing there's never no doubt in my mind because I know who I lay with, I know who I play with. So it's just what it is. And I'm gonna say again, if you don't know, then there's something else going on, and you should probably check that at the door.
Okay, so we're gonna go to another meal. Sean?
I'm gonna say yes based on what the actual bill that's being posed about it being mandatory. The purpose of it, of them trying to get it to be mandatory, is to help us men out so that it's mandatory that you take the test before you sign the birth certificate. That's what this whole thing is. That's what the whole process of it trying to become mandatory is. Because if you mess around and sign, because once you sign the birth certificate, whether you find out that you're the father or not, you're still on the hook because you signed a legal document. So that's what this whole process of of them trying to make it mandatory is all about. So for me, I would say yes. I mean, because 9 out of 10, I believe any and everybody that has been in these situations of, you know, them finding out somewhere down the line that the child is not theirs, I believe somewhere down there they knew that that child wasn't theirs, because you know what your relationship or your situation with that individual is like. So my answer is yes, based on what the premises of it being mandatory is for.
Okay, like that. Maria?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes because I know who I've been with, and if this is for you to feel comfortable, yeah. But in that same sense, I'm not paying for this maternity test because this is for you. This is not for me or whatever. But if it comes to find out that it's not the man's baby, the woman should pay for it.
Okay, straight to the point. Come on, Flemings, you gotta round this out, bro. You gotta take a stance. Are you for the mandatory testing at birth, or are you against it?
I think I want to cuff on both of them. I'm kind of 50-50.
Okay, so we got two 50-50s. So Berg and Flemings is on the fence. They're not certain. They feel a certain way. All right, Tanya, bring it home.
All right. I am neutral, and I'm neutral because I'm not thinking about my own personal, I'm thinking about people as a whole, the women and the men. There are certain situations that they may not want to have a blood test drawn with incest and old man messing with these young girls. I mean, they should be a blood test for that. But when it comes to family situations, it could blow up and be ugly. So I think on that aspect, it should be optional if they want to have the blood test or not, because then they're the ones who blowing up the family as opposed to the government blowing up the family.
Okay, that's a reason to be neutral. But I'm gonna tell you guys, mandatory.
I want to know, when she says family, you mean like family sleeping with family and having children?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic.
Okay, so we're gonna
That's
go
why I
back.
stay quiet.
I'm gonna say I'm
They
gonna
should
say
be blown up then if they sleeping with family, because you shouldn't be doing that.
yeah. And I will say this to you guys. So
Yeah.
this is so I'm gonna take the stance too. I'm going to say I'm for it because the initial question was, do you think it should be mandatory DNA paternity testing at birth? I say yes, because if everybody has to do it, then no one should feel a certain way. Everybody else is doing it. You don't have a choice. That's what mandatory means. You don't get a choice. It has to be done. This will eliminate unnecessary child support orders. This will eliminate unnecessary heartache. It's not going to stop the promiscuous behavior. It's not going to stop the cheating. They're still going to do it. There's still going to be individuals that say they don't care about the testing. They ain't going to show up for the testing anyways. You know, you got people out here, let's just call a spade a spade. They don't, they make babies and they ain't taking care of them. So they can care less about any mandatory testing. They ain't showing up to the hospital anyways to get swabbed. You know, so again, let's see. How do you get a test? You go to the store, you purchase it. How do you perform the test? You swab the cheeks. What do you do next? You send it in. Or let me be clear about this. You swab the cheeks of both the I believe it's the mother, the father, and the child. Now someone said, what do I do in the case that I'm not certain of the paternity? I slept with the brother, I slept with the cousin. Then you need to test them all.
Uncle D, in the sense of mama's babies, papa's maybe, what about the females that feel like I'm gonna have this baby and I don't need to know who the father is, or I don't want the father in his life because I'm gonna take care of the kid by myself?
Well, she just not a question anymore. I mean, she made it clear it's not even a question of papa's maybe, it's mama's baby. She says she gonna have it. She don't care. She don't care if it's the uncle.
But what happens if something medically goes wrong with your child and now you need this father to give blood or to show up to do something medically for your kid?
Well, I think that at that point she has made a bad decision, and she's gonna have to swallow her pride and try to throw herself on the sword, so to speak, and hope that this individual that she basically exiled and threw away wants to help her out with that type of information. And that person sounds like a selfish person to begin with. So I don't think that individual is gonna go searching for that individual regardless. So that's a whole nother story. Again, guys, so this is another question that's been presented. Tech person, I think we got one more video about the ladies. What did the ladies say on the talk show? You want to show that one?
Some baby mama drama. The artist posted a comment that was later shared on the Shade Room, and it seems that he's basically begging his ex to provide a paternity test for their children. He also claims he's not a deadbeat dad, but deserves to know for sure if he's supporting kids of his own. So ladies, this got me thinking, do you think, like, what if there was a day where maternity tests were actually, like, mandatory?
Do you know who your baby daddy is?
I'm sorry, maternity. You guys, what if there was a day where paternity tests were actually mandatory? Why aren't they?
Do you know who your baby daddy is?
I do.
Exactly.
But can I say this honestly? Yes. If they were mandatory, I would proudly take one because I want you to know.
That's right.
I want you to know that all of this I'm going through right now, that's this whole back that's not even buttoned up, that's you because of you.
That's you. I don't understand why they're not mandatory.
Yeah,
I feel that parents should absolutely know what they've
that's
contributed to,
because
and
I was
children
reading
should
about that.
absolutely definitively know who their parents are.
Oh, my cards. Look, I was reading about that, and there are activists that are trying to get a law to make it, but it's not passing because for some women, they feel that it would make more of a stigma against women, you know,
It
that
makes
men
a stigma
would
if you don't want to share the results.
Yeah, right.
It becomes a stigma. If it was just mandatory and it was all over, the stigma would actually go away. It gets weird because people got to be asking you, am I your baby father? Maury Povich moments, you know? Are you the father?
But don't
if
you
it was
think it's
just
to be some
mandatory and we just
responsibility that two people have sex and there's a possibility that woman's going to get pregnant, that it's a mature decision that, yeah, you are the father?
And you should know. But I think the stigma goes away when it becomes mandatory. When it becomes the norm that everyone has to do this, this is just the way it is.
We're just checking to make sure, just like you get all the tests when you are pregnant. You're taking blood tests, you're making sure the dad's healthy, you're making sure mom's healthy.
Well, it's good
Let's just
for
make sure it's your baby.
Yeah,
Let's do that.
It's good for the genetics.
Absolutely.
I will say that.
Yes.
But I think that there's still an issue with, it's stigmatizing. Women are already women are already held to a different standard when it comes to, you know, if you're married. But a lot of women that aren't married and having multiple partners and things like that. So I think that's what that has to deal with. But I mean, if they can pass a law.
Yes, I want to read a case that happened, and maybe you guys know about this.
Oh, Lord,
where
here we go.
A judge of the Delta State High Court, it was one of those, where Anthony Okorotis allegedly discovered that 3 children he had with his ex-wife were not his biological offspring. According to the judge in the statement, his former wife, Celia Juliet Ototo, walked away from the marriage when this youngest child, now 17 years old, was just 6. So from 17 till 6, this man has been paying for these 3 kids just because, I mean, he's doing the right thing as a dad.
They ain't look like him?
You gotta look up the story, guys, because it's intense.
I just don't want women stigmatized about they get pregnant, and then the minute they get pregnant, who is the actual father? Because there are a lot of responsible women that know who they having sex with, they know who they pregnant by, and all of that.
Wait, do you know some friends who maybe aren't sure because they're not married and they're not sure because they've just been
Well, you can be
having
married
normal,
and not know.
Clearly, in this case, you know what I'm saying? But this is my thing. I feel like it's a win-win situation when there is mandatory paternity tests. It's a win-win situation because the father knows his responsibility and the mother now has to hold him to that responsibility.
I think if people are married, it shouldn't be that way because you might be doing some business that you don't need to do, and you gotta work it out.
They need to know. They need to know.
I'm gonna stand on that one.
Yes, let's kill the whole stigma. It makes sense. Kill it.
Yeah, so guys,
like if you don't got nothing to hide, why not just do it?
Yes.
No more promiscuous behavior, like I said earlier.
I don't think it's a
simple swab. They swab for DNA all the time.
I don't think it's a situation where the woman should feel like that the man is saying she has questionable behavior. If it's across the board, if it's uniform, they're not saying this about you. It's mandatory for everybody all over the world. As soon as the baby is born, you cut the umbilical cord and you swab the mouth of everybody in attendance. You find out, everybody go home, they live their life. Now, if it's going to be a happy life, that depends on everything that happened before the paternity test. So again, if you was out there just giving away your goodies to everybody and you already promised your goodies to your husband, now that's a whole nother situation. It's a whole nother topic. It's a whole nother
I
show.
don't see what difference it makes because you got to take a maternity test. You got to do that when you doing child support. So why would it make a difference?
This is going to do away with all those unnecessary cases, these uncertain cases, questionable cases of child support. Now they're gonna know for certain if I am the father, then I got the right man. They're supposed to be paying child support, as opposed to somebody that. Let me share this short story with you guys real quick. Man marries wife. They was married for 25 years. They have their son. Their son graduates from college. At the end of the ceremony, they go home. It's supposed to be a celebration. Mom tells dad she wants a divorce. In the midst of the discussion or the argument, she then states that it is not his son. Or she said that it may not be his son. Now they go to court. The man and his son is devastated. They're broken up, waiting on the test results. They're crying. Mom is not crying. She's just sitting there with a look of disdain on her face. Again, how do you guys feel about that woman?
She knew all along.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah, she knew from day one. That's why she has no emotions behind it. That's why she was able to just throw that out there with no ill regard to what it was going to do. She didn't care less what it was going to do to the man that she already counted out anyway. But to do that to your child.
She didn't think about what it would do to the child. She was thinking about going with the better man that was able to help her take care of him and raise him. That's probably where she was going.
She
thought about it.
devil,
She
and
just
once
didn't
again,
care.
we rebuke you.
Yeah.
So,
She
Dave,
thought
could you
about
hear
it.
me?
She just didn't care.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, guys. Let Sean finish. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I said I believe she thought about it. She just didn't care. This goes back to some of our other discussions when we get into that selfish mode.
Oh yeah.
Because we can be selfish now, and because we're humans and we do think that to me, when you become an adult, I don't believe in there's mistakes. I believe we make decisions. And
So
she knew what she was doing. She didn't care because it was all about her feelings and what she had to get accomplished at that moment and at that time.
So
That's my take on people that act like that.
Okay, Robert.
All right, this is what. Do you hear me right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to say this. She should be very worried. For 25 years, you raised this child underneath the belief that that's his father. Graduation day, everything is all happy. It's a happy moment. Now you come home and you lay this upon dad and son. Your son, you better hope he don't start choosing, even if it was his father still, or if it becomes that the DNA test or whatever comes by, that is not dad, that the father is not his father. He might lose the love and the respect that he once had for you and choose to be with the man that he thought was his father anyway.
Yeah.
It was a very heartbreaking moment. It was very emotional. In the midst of these guys hugging each other, the son did say that very thing to his father. He doesn't care what the test says. He will always be his father.
Because he's been there from day one. He watched him graduate high school and college.
Yes.
Yeah.
The situation reminds me of what my mother said earlier about the 18 years. The person for the 18 years. It's almost the same. And then the last person from the last video, if it was the worst case scenario, he would have ended up in that situation, but he found out earlier in life. So he was really mad, but imagine if it was 25 years.
Yeah.
So there was some girl that we all know. She went on one of the judge shows or whatever and found out that the baby that she was claiming that was her baby's father was not his. And the judge ordered her to pay back all the child support.
Right.
I think that all you should do when
I
you
think
do
it should be presented as a criminal offense. So if you're falsifying a federal document, which is said
paternity fraud,
the birth certificate, no, as a birth certificate, I signed this birth certificate under the notion that this was my child. Now, if you've been lying to me this whole time, there was a falsification of a federal document. Make this criminal, like filing a false police report, crying rape and it didn't happen. You put a little bit more on whoever is involved in this.
Kill the stigma.
As opposed to just a DNA test, it is now known to be criminal to have someone sign a birth certificate. You knew there was a possibility this could not be your kid. The minute you lay down with somebody else unprotected, there's a probability that it's possible this may not be your husband, boyfriend, or this may not be his child. You knew this the day you laid down unprotected. You chose to hide that for 25 years. That's insanely criminal. You made me believe something that's not true. I paid all this money to support this child. I've invested all this time, my emotions, my energy, my knowledge. I invested my whole life into preparation for this child, and it's not mine. Now, if you told me from day one and I chose to do this, then that's my choice. I took on that responsibility knowing that the possibility of this child could not be mine. And I moved forward. I have no right to be mad later. But at the end of the day, I have every right to be upset that I was deceived to believe something that was not true. And if they borderline make this some kind of criminal offense, I'm not saying you're going to do 5 years in jail for doing it, but there can be some kind of criminal something placed on your record.
Pay a fine.
Would change people's, thought process then.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of. Can I say something to that, David?
Yeah,
The
Sean, go ahead.
paternity test should be mandatory.
Based on what?
You're stating on a birth certificate that this is your child, and you lied to me, and you lied to whatever we signed was a lie.
Okay, Sean,
based on.
Hold on. That's the craziest part, because if you do sign the birth certificate and you find out later it's not your child, it does not matter. You signed this federal document. Like I believe it was Sean that said, you are still on the hook for this child. They will not even order a DNA test if you sign the birth certificate. If you sign that child is yours.
Sean?
And so now that, and I'm glad that Berg said that last part, because that's where I wanted to bring it back to, that this is the whole purpose of them trying to make it mandatory so that it help out those men that end up finding themselves in that situation. Now, I also heard when Berg said that the woman should be held responsible if she puts a man under the false pretense of this, that, da. And I get where you're coming from with that, but again, because you personally signed that document, you can't be held. No one can be held responsible for quote unquote coercing you into signing that legal document like that.
It's under duress. It isn't a coercion.
No, but it's not. But it wouldn't be considered as under. It's like how is that under? Huh?
I agree. It isn't, but you're making me believe that, or you have me believing that our relationship was true blue, and it obviously was not. The minute you
let me say this, yo, trust is a big
and
it's a big thing in relationships.
That doesn't become a legal thing.
This is gonna build back trust in relationships, and we don't have that a lot right now. So we need to build back the trust and to bring it back. You don't have to worry about if you can trust this person, because the person's knowing in the back of their mind that I'm gonna have to take a DNA test. I'm not gonna be out here doing a whole bunch of stuff that I shouldn't be doing and telling this person that I'm loyal to them, and then having them go all the way through with a pregnancy and then letting them know that they're not the father. That's crazy. It's gonna build back the trust, because people's not gonna be able to think like that anymore. It kills the stigma.
I disagree with that, because people, scammers, dirtbags, and scammers are gonna do whatever they're gonna do. I hear what you're saying, Gregory. I hear what you're saying, Gregory, but that doesn't change. That a lot of this won't change the character of some people.
But that's why it's a new law, right? So
it's gonna
change something.
But I think what he's saying is that if we have to get tested, right? And we know at some point, if we're being dishonest, it's going to be revealed, right?
Yes.
You're going to want to do the right thing. And I don't know how many years it may take for people to do the right thing, but eventually
it'll change.
They catch on that, eventually.
Somebody's character is their character.
Yeah. Right. There still may be few who's going to try to manipulate you, but what are you getting out of that?
Overall.
What if they take all of this information and it starts to hit other avenues that people use for help, like the welfare or food stamps, or when you're going down there and you're trying to get assistance for that, but they have the information for the father, and they don't give you any help because they know who this father is, and this father is working, but he ain't giving you no child support.
Then I believe that in that situation, the same way, if they make the testing mandatory, they use that information, then they know who to go after. They know who to go after the father. I don't think it would be a situation where they're going to deny the mother any type of assistance, because if the service is geared towards the woman to begin with, no matter what the finding, the ruling is, they still continue to offer her services. Well, hold up, guys. Kiana, you were saying something?
I was I wanted to kind of disagree with Gregory about like whose trust are you're building? You're building maybe the man's trust, but if you put that on me and you thought
No,
that
I was
about
saying
me all the
overall as a
no, if
society,
you at all,
knowing that you're gonna
exactly,
end up having to
and
take a DNA test
Wait a
before
minute,
you get
Gregory.
pregnant.
Wait a minute, let her finish. We'll come back to you. Go ahead, Kiana.
if you thought that about me in the first place, then we the quote unquote trust and love that I have for you, that changes for me, because
I
yes, you
understand what
should
you're
know the
saying,
type of person
Godmom,
that you're
but
with.
if everybody thought like you, we wouldn't have no Maury show. You get what I'm saying? So
Yes,
we wouldn't
I can't think like I can't
we
think
gotta
like
change
someone who
the
doesn't
whole
think like me.
overall as everybody.
Elizabeth, you got any last words?
I don't believe, even though it'll be mandatory DNA, you're gonna do what you're gonna do. And some females lie to the very end. And then when you're not the father, oh no, that's not right. I need another one. I need another one. They messed it up. The test is wrong. So it's not gonna change, but at least everything is up and up in the beginning.
Yeah, I was agreeing with Berg when he said
don't lie.
Fraudulent. This is fraudulent behavior. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I said it would build up the trust. A fraudulent person is a person you couldn't trust. You get what I'm saying? So when you're building back on
there's such a term where it says if there's no trust, there's no us. So begin to going into it. If this person is untrustworthy, she is unworthy of me. So you guys, let me go ahead and get
You
these
don't always find that out though right away. It could be
you don't, and that's the unfortunate part about it. You invest a lot of time and energy before some people show who they truly are, and that's the sad part about it, because
you may jump into a new relationship and a month later she's pregnant, so you don't really get to really know the character of a person to come up with that conclusion that they are trustworthy and they are a good person, because you may want to just be a stand-up person and say, okay, we just met, she got pregnant, I'm going to stand up and take care of mine. You didn't know that she was a bucket. You had no idea you was dealing with a bucket. Somebody know that they had a bucket when they met her. She cheated on her boyfriend with you. That may show the characteristic of who that person is. That could be a flag, but you didn't care at the time because you guys were both out trying to just do what you want.
Yep, you was having fun.
If you know she was a cheater and cheated with you, she has the potential to do it on you as well.
It could be the other way, when a girl is so-called a good girl and trustworthy, but the man just don't trust nobody and believe everybody's trying to get to them. So it's both ways.
Let me say this to you guys.
I just want to speak on the behalf of women. We all not like that. There are some women that lay down with their man or their boyfriend or companion, and they already know, this is your kid. There are some men who's already in denial as well. So like I said earlier, if this is making you feel comfortable or for you to feel better about your situation, then yeah, we should do this.
So let me say this to you guys. Let me get these last words in there. So tonight's topic is mama's baby, papa's maybe. So I want to add to that. Mama's baby, papa's maybe. If you're not sure, pay for a plan B. This has been the Still a Man podcast show. Join us next week. Love you all. God bless you. Keep coming back. Good night.
Good
One
night.
love.
Good night.